Every morning we all dread that noise that wakes us up in the morning. Yes, it's our alarm. We all hate that noise. We wish we could just hit the snooze button, roll over, pull our covers over our head, and just sleep in every single day. But unfortunately, we can't do that. Everyone always has something to do, usually a long day ahead of them involving work or school or something of that sort. So, what do most people do? They're tired in the morning, they wake up, and they make coffee or they go purchase a coffee from somewhere. Everyone drinks coffee only for the knowing the reason they're drinking it, which is to wake them up. So yes, coffee does wake you up, but there's also a lot of things people don't know about coffee. So today I'm going to give you some information on coffee and the main ingredient which wakes you up inside of it, which is caffeine. In an online article containing info from the book The World of Caffeine, they state how caffeine was first discovered. Caffeine was first discovered in 1819 by a man named Johann Wolfgang van Goethe. At this time, he was one of the world's most famous poets who also studied botany on the side. He discovered these rare Arabian mocha beans from a plant. He took them and he gave them to a friend of his named Runge, who was a chemist. He asked them to analyze them because they were so strange to him. Runge actually consumed one of the beans and noticed its stimulating effects. And after that, he went to further analyze them and went on to synthesize the world's first pure caffeine sample. Um, Although that's how caffeine was introduced to the world, on sheerbalance.com, it states that caffeine use can date way back to the Stone Age. They also state that in America, 450 billion cups of coffee are consumed every day. And that's just here in America. I mean, coffee was first started being used in Europe, so imagine nowadays how many cups of coffee are consumed worldwide, combining America, Europe, and everywhere else. Um, 54% of Americans over the age of 18 drink coffee daily. And this is only 54% over the age of 18. And yes, surprisingly, people under the age of 18 do drink coffee because I know myself when I was younger, Starbucks was like, oh, let's go to Starbucks, get a Frappuccino chocolate. Everyone loved Frappuccinos, which contain coffee in them. All the while, 54% drink coffee daily. 90% of Americans do use caffeine in some form because caffeine is not only in the liquid form, but it can come in a pill form too, usually bought over the counter. Shown on statisticsbrain.com, America imports $4 billion worth of coffee to the States yearly. I mean, we consume so much coffee, and in my opinion, uh, the price of coffee could be way overpriced and it wouldn't matter because people need coffee. I mean, me myself, I drink only 1 cup a day. I mean, I'm not some kind of crazy caffeine addict, but I drink 1 cup a day. But without it, my job would suck. I mean, I'd hate my job because I'd just be tired the entire time. I have to wake up really early and it would suck. The average cost of a cup of coffee in America, and this is just your plain regular old black brewed coffee, is from $1.38 to $1.50. And most people don't even get just black coffee. They end up getting some espresso, get a couple shots in there or something, and that ranges from the 250 to 350 range even, depending what size you get. The average size of a coffee is about 9 ounces, and most people don't stop at 1 cup either. So people who purchase their coffee from a Starbucks or corner store daily are spending at least $15 a week on coffee. And this is just 1 cup a day. I mean, people that drink 2 cups a day, you're looking at least 30, 40, maybe even $50 a week, depending on what you order. And that's probably a ridiculous amount of money, in my opinion. The percentage of people that do get their coffee from places such as Starbucks is 34%. Without coffee, some people they just couldn't function. They become dependent on it, and this leads me to my next point. On sheerbalance.com, it is stated that caffeine is not even black in its natural form. Most of the time, we think it's black because caffeine is in coffee and we see coffee being brewed as black, but caffeine is actually a white, bitter tasting crystal substance, somewhat similar to cocaine, eerily similar to cocaine. What most people don't know about caffeine, which is similar to cocaine, is that it's a drug. And they have almost the same effects. So basically, if you're drinking coffee, you're a drug user in a sense. Crazy, isn't it? If you think about it, caffeine has, yeah, the almost same effects as cocaine, like I said. And shown on sheerbalance.com, when consumed caffeine, it causes your brain to have a higher sense of alertness and an increased level of dopamine, improving your feeling of well-being and your mood. Consumed in liquid form, caffeine reaches all tissues of the body within 5 minutes. I'm sure everyone has tried coffee at least one time, and we all know this feeling. You get real relaxed, relaxed in your mood, but you're actually really awake and alert about things. The reason for this is because coffee does exactly that. It makes you social, and people go to coffee houses a lot of the time to socialize with friends. They go either in the morning or late night and talk about stuff. In the morning, a lot of adults go to Starbucks, get their coffee, and with all their coworkers just socialize, talk about stuff. And some of us go to coffee houses to study as well, and that's because it increases, like I said, your alertness and your focus on things, so you're really paying attention to your homework and stuff. If you do think about this really deeply, a coffee shop to go people that go to drink coffee and socialize can almost be related to a person who goes to a club and does club drugs such as, like I said, cocaine and ecstasy. Although the side effects are very different between the two, I mean, obviously, coffee or caffeine is not as harming to your body as cocaine is, or else everyone would be doing cocaine as well. But yeah, no. If someone were to abruptly stop using caffeine, just like any other drug, they'd have their withdrawal symptoms. Um, Taken from facts.org, the withdrawal symptoms of caffeine include most commonly headaches within the first week. You get irritable, don't want to be around people. You're more tired than usual because you're used to being real up and alert with your caffeine in your body. You get dry mouth, and you can even start vomiting. So if you're someone that's trying to lower the caffeine dosage, I would just rather you stop drinking so much coffee slowly, because I don't think anyone wants to throw up every day for a week. Doesn't sound like fun, really. Like I said, over 90% of Americans use caffeine in some way, so it's a bad thing. Have you ever heard of someone dying from a cup of coffee or overdosing on caffeine? No, I don't. I don't think so. It's not possible. Coffee has its good and its bad, and yes, people do become dependent on it, but there's nothing to worry about. Uh, it is a drug, but like I said, it's not as harming to your body as many other things. I'm sure and I'm confident that you're now better informed about caffeine, because after doing some research that I did, I know I'm well informed about it too.